Tony Soprano, just the mention of the name conjures up images of a hulking, brooding man, always wrestling with his demons. For those unfamiliar, Tony is the protagonist of The Sopranos, a groundbreaking television series that aired from 1999 to 2007. The show revolutionized TV, and Tony Soprano stands at the heart of it all, as one of the most complex characters ever written. But who exactly is Tony Soprano? And why does he continue to captivate audiences decades after the series aired? At first glance, Tony seems like your typical mob boss. He's the head of the Demio crime family, one of the most powerful and feared criminal organizations in New Jersey. He's involved in all the stereotypical mob activities: extortion, murder, racketeering. But unlike most mob characters, Tony isn't just a one-dimensional villain or even a misunderstood anti-hero. He's far more complicated. Tony Soprano is a man divided between two worlds: the violent, cutthroat world of organized crime and the more relatable, mundane struggles of suburban family life. He's a father, a husband, and a son, trying to keep his family together while simultaneously running a criminal empire. This duality is central to understanding Tony. On one hand, he's a ruthless gangster, capable of committing unspeakable acts. On the other, he's a man grappling with anxiety, depression, and the challenges of being a good husband and father. This tension between his two identities creates a character who feels incredibly real, and it's this realism that makes Tony so compelling. Tony's struggle is not just external, it's internal. One of the most iconic aspects of The Sopranos is Tony's relationship with his therapist, Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Throughout the series, Tony seeks therapy for panic attacks, which stem from his deep-seated psychological issues. This was groundbreaking at the time. Here was a mafia boss, a figure usually portrayed as hyper-masculine and invulnerable, seeking help for mental health issues. Through these therapy sessions, we get to see Tony's inner world, his doubts, fears, and insecurities. We learn that he's haunted by guilt, not just over the things he's done, but by a nagging feeling that he's not living up to the expectations placed upon him as a mob boss and as a man. One of Tony's most significant dilemmas is his relationship with his family, both his biological family and his crime family. In many ways, Tony's loyalty to these two families defines who he is. He genuinely loves his wife, Carmela, and his two children, Meadow and AJ. But his love is often overshadowed by his actions. He lies, cheats, and engages in affairs, all while trying to maintain the image of a devoted family man. His criminal activities, too, threaten his family's safety and well-being. There are moments where Tony's love for his family is evident, such as when he expresses deep concern for Meadow's future or tries to guide AJ. But there's always a disconnect. Tony wants to be a good father, but he's trapped in a life that constantly pulls him away from that goal. Then, there's his crime family. As the head of the Demio crime organization, Tony is responsible for managing not just the logistics of the business, but the relationships and rivalries within the family. He faces constant threats to his power, both from within and outside his organization. Throughout the series, Tony navigates betrayals, assassinations, and power struggles, often resorting to violence to maintain control. Yet, even as he asserts his dominance, we see moments where Tony questions his choices, wondering if all the bloodshed and treachery is worth it. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of Tony's character is his sense of morality. Tony knows that what he does is wrong. He's fully aware that his actions, murder, extortion, adultery, are morally reprehensible. Yet he rationalizes them, often using the excuse that it's just business. In his sessions with Dr. Melfi, Tony frequently deflects responsibility, blaming his upbringing or the nature of the world around him. He views himself as a victim of circumstance, someone born into a life that leaves him with few choices. But as the series progresses, it becomes increasingly clear that Tony is not just a victim. He's also an architect of his own suffering. He makes choices, often terrible ones, and while he may feel guilt, he rarely seeks redemption. What makes Tony Soprano truly fascinating is the contradiction at the heart of his character. He's a man who craves power and control, Yet he's often powerless when it comes to the things that matter most to him. He wants respect, yet he's acutely aware of how fragile his reputation is. He loves his family, but his actions often push them away. He seeks therapy, hoping to understand and control his emotions, yet he resists change at every turn. These contradictions make Tony feel human, and it's why audiences find him so captivating. In the end, Tony Soprano's legacy is that of a deeply flawed, deeply human character. He embodies the contradictions that exist within all of us: the desire for power, the fear of failure, the need for love, and the struggle to reconcile our actions with our sense of morality. Tony Soprano is more than just a mob boss. He's a mirror, reflecting the complexities of human nature. And it's this complexity that has solidified his place as one of the greatest characters in television history.